What's up, guys? All right, I usually do this part of the video outside, but the weather is not exactly cooperating. We got some wind and some rain and stuff like that, so it'd be hard to hear. So we're going to do this part indoors. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Primary Arms for sending this optic in for review. If you're looking for any gun parts, optics, anything like that, please go check out Primary Arms and show them some love for making this video possible. All right, so what is this little optic here? It is Primary Arms' SLX RS-10. It is their little mini reflex sight. It does come with a few mounting options. So let me get the camera turned around, show you what's in the box. Okay guys, this is how the optic will arrive. Just a little box like this, a little bit of information. We'll go over some of this information right here. Length of the optic is 46.9 millimeters. The height is 27.6 millimeters. Weight is 1.07 ounces. And then your windage and elevation adjustments are, you do have 100 MOA of that. The housing material is 7075 T6. Your battery life is 40,000 hours. You do have a CR2032 battery, which is a very common battery, and it does have Primary Arms' lifetime warranty. If you're wondering, it does have a 3 MOA dot. It doesn't have a circle dot, but this is more like a traditional optic has, like an RMR or something like that. But Primary Arms does also offer like the Hollison 507C with their AC SS reticle, which is a very awesome reticle. I have a review of that optic a few videos back. If I can remember, I'll link it at the end of this video or in the description. So let's get in here and see what we have. So inside you'll get a little piece of foam to kind of protect the optic. You do have your owner's manual here with a little cleaning cloth inside. It tells you how to zero it, mounting options. It does have a doctor footprint, if you're wondering, but I don't have a pistol with a doctor footprint. I do have a Glock MOS though, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. Also tells you specification, lens care, and then remember 4 rules of firearm safety. Shows you how your battery goes in. It does have a hinge door on the side to replace your battery, which is awesome. That's awesome because I hate removing optics like the RMR and stuff like that. I think the SIGs is the same way. No, SIGs may not be, but I know the RMR is. Vortex has some that is. I hate removing optics to replace the batteries, so they got this right. You do have a 1 MOA adjustment with each click. Your elevation is on top, windage on the side, and you do have illumination up and down buttons on the opposite side. It does come with some thread locker. In here, you do have some wrenches. I do have a video on how I install optics, so I'm not going to be showing y'all how I install this. If you want to see how to install optics, you can go back and watch that video. I think it's 3 or 4 back, but I can show you how to do it on that video, but they do supply the wrenches for that. It also comes with this, which is a plate for the Glock MOS system, along with the screws to attach it. And then inside here, if I can get this out, here is your optic. It also comes with like a Picatinny style or 1913 mount for like I guess like an AR style rifle or any kind of Picatinny rail system. And it does have a nice rubber cover on the top. And if we pull this cover off, you can see right here on this side, this is where your adjustments are for brightness settings. If I can, there's that dot. It may be a little hard to see in the camera. Right there it is. So you can see it does have that 3 MOA dot right there, which is good for, you know, not only like it's small enough to take some precision shots, but it's also large enough to acquire quickly if you're ever in the situation that need to do so. Now I will be removing this mount. It just removes just like normal pistol optics mount to, you know, their host, whatever mount it is, whether it be the pistol or a Picatinny style mount. They mount from the top right here, and I'll be taking this one off and then mounting it to the Glock via this plate right here. And then of course you have your up and down settings and your right and left settings. They are labeled right here, windage and elevation. So you have your elevation up, you turn it this way, this will actually make your shot go up, or your shot placement rise. Your R right here on the side, turn it this way, counterclockwise will make your impact go to the right. And here is your door for your 2032 battery. It does seem pretty rugged. It feels good. It's pretty thick aluminum, but only time will tell. We'll get this thing out to the range. I'll get it mounted up, and we'll see how it does. So let's head out to the range.
What's up, guys? All right, we're at the range finally with the Primary Arms Mini Reflex SLX RS-10 red dot sight, or reflex sight. And I'm laughing because I mount it to my Glock 34 MOS. This does come with an MOS plate, so you can mount this optic directly to your Glock MOS, and this is actually the only MOS I have. But it needed an optic, and now it has one. But what I'm laughing at is I backed up to 10 yards, and I thought I'm gonna sight this in before I do the video. And I'm gonna go show you 10 yards. All right, so this is pretty funny. Now, I did actually shoot a little fast a couple times, but this is, I think, 5 shots. I mean, I didn't even have to sight it in. I mounted it on my pistol, and it's dead on. I mean, that is nuts. I'm not gonna say they'll all be that way, but for mine, 100%, that was the first shots out of the gun. And I was like, that is nuts. I couldn't believe it. The 2 high ones were my fault. You can see the 2 and just knocked out the red center of that shooting C. Just drilled it. That's where I slowed down a little bit because I took my first shot and I was like, huh. So then I took a second shot and I was like, I hit the same bullet hole. So I fired a couple, 2 or 3 more times kind of quicker. And they're still in that shooting C, but that's nuts. That is just nuts. Like I said, I can't say they'll all do that, but mine did. And on a side note, real quick before we get started, I've got a video coming up with a holster I'm using. It might be the last range holster you need, so stay tuned for that video. I'm not going to spoil it in this one. I think it's actually called the Black Hawk Omnivore or something, but I have a whole video coming out on that, so stay tuned on that because it's pretty amazing as well. But that blew my mind. No, I can't even tell you about the clicks. I'm going to check that, actually. I'm going to click it once and click it back just to see if it has clicks, or if it's like some of the optics where they don't have clicks. They just kind of move. Because I'm curious about that, because I don't even know. I didn't even have to touch it. So let me dig out my sight adjustment tool, because I didn't even get it out yet. I just wanted to see where it was hitting, and then I was going to dig it out and adjust it, but that didn't happen. But I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the sight adjustment tool. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It does have very positive clicks. Very, very positive clicks. So it's not like some of the other optics. I'm thinking one of the vortexes I have doesn't have clicks. You just kind of turn it and then you shoot it and see how it is. Also, one thing I do like about this one as well is there's not like locking screws for the turrets, or for the turret screws. I don't like it when it does that. I think that's crazy in this day and time. There's so many optics that don't have that. Why do some of them do? But nonetheless, you don't have to worry about that. Like one of the vortexes is in the back where it locks them down. You can't even get to it for the rear sight. You don't have that problem with this optic. I do also want to say this optic is plenty bright enough. I do have it turned down for sighting it in, or what I thought I was going to sight it in, because when I sight in my optics, I turn them down to where you can kind of barely see them, and you can get that more precise shot off, and then you can turn them back up once you get them kind of dialed in where you want them. This does have a 3 MOA dot, and I want to say a lot of times I go for the lower dot, or the smaller dot, I guess I should say, because you can always turn that dot up and make it bigger. but a lot of times you can't take a 6.5 MOA dot and turn it down and make it much smaller. So I prefer a smaller dot and then just turn it up brighter. And then you may have to change your batteries a little more often, but you do get a little bit of fluctuation. The brightness settings are over here. It may be a little hard to see, but you do have your brightness settings on that. I'm sure we've already went over all that, but I just kind of want to drive that home on the shooting part, that is very easy to adjust the brightness settings as well. But we've talked enough. Let's shoot this thing a little bit because apparently it's dead on. All right, shot number 6. Well, as usual, I rode the slide stop, but let's go down here and take a look at this. Let's just go take a look. I might have got a couple low because I kind of started shooting fast there, but they're not bad low. They're not bad. I got one a little bit right here. It's a little right, but everything else is right there. That optic track's good. One thing I want to talk about is when you shoot it, and this is part of the recoil management process as well, you need to have good recoil management. I've been working on my grip quite a bit here lately. That may be a little bit bright. I've been working on my grip a little bit here lately, working more on squeezing back to front with my right hand and side to side with my left. I think what I was doing before a little bit, where I hadn't shot in a while, I was putting too much force on the gun on the side, and it was causing me to kind of go left a little bit. But I've been focusing more and dry firing with squeezing front to back and equal pressure side to side. But when you do your job, this thing does its job. Now, one thing I want to say, I want to show y'all this. It does have a nice little hood here to protect the front of the glass, and of course you have the hood in the back to protect it back there as well. This is made out of aluminum, and I'm sure it's durable enough. You know, can I say, hey, I recommend this for duty use? I don't know. I've not tested it to that extent yet, but just feeling this thing, feeling how solid it is. I've not got a ton of rounds through it, but like I said, just feeling how solid it is and how positive the clicks are, I think it would be perfectly fine for CCW or something like that. I would recommend it a little more once I get some more rounds through it, and I will put some more rounds through it today and give you my final thoughts. I'll probably put a few hundred rounds through this gun with this optic and give you my final thoughts on it then. But I think for, like I said, CCW or something, this would be a perfectly good option, and it's not going to break the bank. That is one good thing about it. You have optics like Holosun, which are good optics. I have a lot of Holosun optics, but this is around the $200 mark, and you are getting, let's see if I can switch the camera around and show you the dot in it. Okay, so one difference is it's more like an RMR. You are just getting a dot and not like a circle dot, but I don't have a problem with that. The dot is crisp. I don't get a lot. I have a little bit of astigmatism, and I don't get a lot of starburst from this dot. It is very crisp for me, even with my astigmatism, and I really like it. Okay, so I'm gonna put a few more rounds through it, probably a few hundred rounds through this pistol, just getting more used to this dot. But like I said, even with my astigmatism, that's one thing I have to kind of look at on optics and stuff like that, is sometimes they get a little starbursty out there. But I'm not having that problem with this one. Actually, this is one of the more clear glasses that I've seen, and one of the more clear dots that I've seen, especially at this price point. Again, you have plenty enough brightness settings on this. I can even go brighter. It is nuts just how bright this little dot gets. I don't have to turn it up nowhere near as high as it'll go, even with the sun coming through here, and you get a little glare off the camera. You can see that sun coming through. I have no problems at all. But let me quit talking here for a few minutes, put some more rounds through this, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. that slide stop. I put about 100 or a little more rounds through this. I have 1 or 2 more videos I want to do, and I didn't bring as much ammo as I thought I did. But this thing is shooting phenomenally. Let me take you down here. I'll show you how we're doing. And also some of the draw strokes are horrible, but I'm a brand new holster and I'm still getting used to that as well. You've seen that one was really bad. So everything is center mass down here. Pretty much almost inside your fist. Up here is the same. I got some headshots in up here. These back here were about 20 yards, and that's when I was shooting these, and I was getting a little quick and I flew too. So that was definitely my fault right here, but everything else was in the silhouette, pretty much straight down through here. Just a few off over here and a few off over here, but overall, this has been a great optic. I've had no issues with it at all. No flickering of the dot. Now there again, we're talking about 100 rounds, not 1,000 or 10,000 or anything like that. But no flickering of the dot, no issues at all. When you pull it up, the dot's right there. And again, it is a very crisp dot. I'm really liking this optic, and especially like I said, for like a budget optic, I'm not sure you can go wrong with this, because this thing is actually pretty amazing. And that fact that it comes with an MOS plate, and if that's what you're mounting it on is a Glock, that's not bad either. I will show you this. You may want, I just noticed this. This is one thing that you may want to do, and I may be able to fix that with this wrench here. But you can see the plate is starting to creep out just a little bit. But you can Loctite that screw, just screwed it back in. It ain't broke or nothing. It just kind of worked its way out through recoil because this doesn't have any Loctite on it. So you could put just a little bit of Loctite on that little plate cover right there without any issues. Again, that's very minor. It didn't come out or anything like that. I just happened to notice that right now. So you might want to put just a little bit of Loctite on that battery cover screw right there, and you should be good to go with that. Again, other than that one minor thing with the screw backing out just a little bit with no Loctite, no issues at all. The dot, even with the plate backing out, that cover backing out a little bit, I still had a dot. My dot didn't go off. I just happened to look down and I could see a little bit of the battery, and my dot was still working, oddly enough. I mean, it was still there, no issues at all, but I will put a little bit of blue Loctite on it. Just a little. You don't want to put a ton, just a dab will do you. On that little screw right there to hold that cover in. But this thing is pretty awesome, especially for the price point. I really, really like it. Again, guys, go check out Primary Arms. Help support them, because they do help support the channel and make videos like this possible. So go give them a look if you're looking for gun parts or something like that. Always check them out. I've told you before in other videos, that was my go-to place. They always had one very, very quick shipping. And other than that one instant that I did get worked out, I do want to tell you all that. I got all that straightened out and everything with the shoes. It wasn't even gun parts, and it ships from a totally different warehouse. But anything I've ever ordered gun part wise from Primary Arms, I've got very, very quickly. So if you're looking for gun parts, go check them out. And pick up one of these little red dots if you're looking for a budget optic to put on something for CCW or range play or something like that. But again, thank you to Primary Arms for sending this dot out for review. I appreciate you all for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.